Alright, so by now you definitely heard of what Google Stadia is. We actually saw a live demonstration a few months back and a lot of people were actually impressed with that demo that we saw, including myself. However, that was in ideal condition with wired connectivity, with the fastest internet possible, and all that stuff. But I want to talk about how realistic this approach is and how realistic the launch of Google Stadia will be and what we can expect from launch. So let's begin. So the whole idea of Google Stadia is to be able to stream your video games and to stream everything from Google Stadia onto your TV or your monitor. So right now we have a few streaming platforms like from Amazon, Roku and things like that, but they're only good at streaming video. None of them have got to a point where they can stream AAA titles, and that is what Google Stadia hopes to fill in. Now, I personally play on either PC or I play on my Xbox One Elite, and I'm sort of content with just being able to play on board. On board referring to having to pop in my own disc or having to download the game onto my storage and playing it. I have been happy with it. I know load times aren't the fastest if you don't have an SSD, and sometimes it is annoying to download, remove, and download new games onto your machines. Now, Google Stadia hopes to allow you to switch between video games, apps, and all sorts of things from their online library in a matter of seconds. So pretty much you could be watching Netflix or playing a different game, and then all of a sudden you can be like, hey, I want to play Red Dead Redemption, and you can switch over to that. And then when you're done with that, you can switch over to Grand Theft Auto, and all of that will be happening in a matter of seconds, meaning there will be no loading times, no loading screens, and none of that. Now, it sounds like a dream experience. Like, I would love to be able to skip all the loading screens and just play video games right away. But the problem with this is because the Google Stadia is not going to run anything from its system, it's going to be running everything from an online server that Google is going to be holding. Now, some of the questions that I have are, how long are they going to store video games in their servers for? For example, right now I can go onto eBay and I can buy even a PlayStation 1 video game, buy it, and then pop it in and start playing it because it's stored in that disk forever. But with servers are costly and it takes money to store them, and there's a limited amount of capacity. So at one point will they be like, okay, so now we gotta delete these old games off of a server to make room for our new games, right? So will this new server-based gaming experience mean that some games will become obsolete in a few years? We don't really know. Google has also said that Google Stadia is not supposed to be a Netflix where you just subscribe and play video games. It's more supposed to be like a way of getting a bunch of games for a subscription fee, kind of like Xbox Live Gold and things like that. And they will be selling games at an individual price as well. So it seems to match up with something just like our regular game consoles are. It has a subscription for a bunch of games that you can get, and you can buy individual games, and all that stuff is the same. Now, the requirements for running a Google Stadia at your home will be very, very unrealistically demanding. So think about it like this. You're playing games that are going to be running 4K, or let's just put 4K with, that are going to be running at full HD. These are graphic-based games that are going to be relying on a lot of texture packages, and these are gigabytes and gigabytes of data. And for you to play this game at least at 30 FPS at a smooth rate, you will need at least, I would say, 500 megabits and above of internet speed. Now, that's what I have. I have a 500 megabit internet connection. Now, the thing is, my room is upstairs and I don't have a wired connection all the way to my room. Now, think about all the people who want to play Google Stadia inside their room. They're going to have to rely on Wi-Fi, and Wi-Fi, we know, is not going to be as fast as your wired connection. So my Wi-Fi would be about 200 megabits per second, and my Wi-Fi is definitely not going to have a stable connection. Meaning, if you're playing a FPS game on your Google Stadia and your Wi-Fi is bumping up and down and the ping is playing around, meaning that you will not be able to play at a smooth frame rate. The other thing is ping. Now, if you play Fortnite, this is the most common example I can give you guys. There are different servers that you can play on. North America, there's Europe, all sorts of servers that you can play on. And with Google Stadia, they're going to have to make servers pretty much all around the world to make sure that everyone can reach an easy server and everyone can play at a stable rate. Now the problem is, if you take your Google Stadia over to somewhere that is not as populated, maybe if you're going on vacation and you want to take your game console, you're gonna be in some trouble because you are not going to be near a server, so your ping is going to be flying off the charts and you pretty much won't be able to enjoy your games. So I know I'm pointing out all the little flaws about Google Stadia. It seems like I have no faith in this technology, to be honest, but that is not the case. I actually want this technology to be the future. In fact, Xbox and PlayStation have been working on an online based gaming experience themselves. So that is some indication that there is a future to this online world. So as a tech enthusiast, I really would like to see cost cutting done where consoles are a lot cheaper because they no longer need their individual hardware. Instead, they just rely fully on online connectivity. I would say that this launch is not going to be as strong as they expect it to be, but I do think that within the next year or two, we will all have faster internet, and I also do think that Google will improve their compression system so that these games can actually run with a lower internet connectivity. And that is the ideal situation where we can play video games without the need of the best internet connection. So yeah, that is Google Stadia. It's great promising technology that may or may not be 2019 ready, but I still have my bets on it and I'm trusting on Google to take this to the future. So with that being said, I hope you guys learned something new from today's video. This is Tech Alpha signing out with today's video. I will see you guys tomorrow with another video, so peace out.
Wow, deputy.